Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Core Racing Network, and welcome to Netherlands as we are over here at the Circuit Zandvoort for round number 4 of the CSRL GT series. And this is it's a fun little track. I mean, I like watching it when the F1 the races come here, and it's a fun little track to drive on here as well. But it is technical. It is one that is a very flowy track, and you really have to hit your marks, and it's a lot of swinging back and forth. You see right here some double right-handers that you really got to set up. Passing is going to be a bit of a premium here. There's a couple of corners that you can kind of break late and try and set in there and make those passes, but not exactly easy out here. Carl Hammer joined the booth by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, I know you got some laps out there. You've got a little experience here at Circuit Zandvoort, so what can you tell us about this track here tonight?
It's a lot of altitude changes, a lot of unique corners. We'll definitely be able to tell the drivers that have some experience here, and that obviously the talent's going to go a long way too. It's a really kind of a flowy track. You got to kind of get into it. You have to be careful with your passes. You're going to have to set drivers up, or just rely on somebody making a mistake. It is a very unique track, so it's going to be interesting here. There is going to be quite a bit of drivers out there. I think my last count was at 33. So a lot of drivers will coming out here tonight to tackle this track, and I've only been on it a few times officially. No long endurance runs or anything like that, but definitely a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was just learning the corners, and so when you knew when to brake, where the braking points were, and if you don't, I say if you don't have any driving aids to help you or assist you at all, then you're in the blind, and you can really get off track quick, and especially on them cold tires that first lap or two. Yeah,
really interesting with some of these corners, especially. I guess it's I'm not sure if we consider turn 3, turn 4, whatever it is, but the first bank left-hand corner that you get to, first of all, there's not too many banked corners in in road racing. Obviously, you can think of the Nürburgring, obviously the big one that you could think of with the bank corner that you have to stay all the way down on the bottom. Well, here it's kind of the opposite. Here, a lot of times with a lot of different cars, you're actually entering at the top of the track, and it's what the Formula 1 cars do as well. You're not actually going down to the bottom of that banking and entering on the inside. You're actually going to the outside and kind of keeping up that momentum. So just some really different intricate things about this track that the drivers are going to have to learn to figure out, and they're going to figure out pretty quick here. 45-minute race as usual. Let's take a look at the standings coming into tonight, and On top of the boards, if I correct the right one, there we go, is going to be Greg Jancic by 3 points over Colin Winslow. Chris Hamilton in third, Devin Young and Anthony Jenkins making up your top 5. Over in the AM, it is Eli Singh still on top of the boards by 9 over Jim Herrick. Brandon Powell, Glenn Lazan, and Randall Ayers are going to make up your top 5 over there. 3 tied for third place right there in the AM class. It's been some good racing, a lot of tight racing. And I mean, it's kind of a toss-up this year. We've had some different winners. We had some breakouts so far for the AM series. So we'll see who's got the hot shoe tonight and see who can get it done. But looks like qualifying is over. Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown of that starting order tonight?
Yeah, good rundown here of the qualifying order. Christopher Hamilton will be on the pole here tonight, and the outside will be Craig Jancic. Then you have Steve Brown, Rich Pacheco, Nicholas Cody, Devin Young, Leo Gusha, Anthony Jenkins, Bryce Rayner, Shik Ali, Tyler Torville, and Eli Singh there to be your top 12, and then Christian Torres in 13th. Frank Pisano, Jim Herrick's in 15th, Jim Dutton is in 16th, Brandon Powell in 17th, Eric Martin's in 18th, Herbert Pineda, Jason Potts, Steve Santana, Randall Ayers, René Dilemma, Glenn Lawson, Todd Tervell, Brandon Potts, William Burrell, Ian Wilson, Daniel Rambo, Jay Little, Stephen Price, Cesar Torres, and Paul Bailey for your 33 drivers. Now, Cesar and Paul did not put times in. I see Paul Bailey got some practice in, but nothing from Cesar. So might be going out there blind and cold here tonight there for Cesar, but hopefully he can get this thing in the ropes. But we're looking at times anywhere from 133.7 all the way back to 141. So a big learning curve here tonight, Carl.
Well, we got time, and it's going to be a little bit longer of a pace lap here, as they're going to be taking a full pace lap. We'll go ahead and take care of our sponsor reads now, and a shout out to our sponsors here for the series. 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 sim racing shoes, custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. At SimCraft, they create the most advanced customizable simulators for drivers and enthusiasts alike. Whether you're a professional racer looking for precision training or a home user seeking an immersive experience, SimCraft delivers unparalleled performance. SimCraft is trusted by real-world professionals with over 74 championships, including 18 in 2024. Their advanced simulators provide unmatched precision and performance, empowering drivers to excel at every level. Join the ranks of champions who rely on SimCraft to elevate their training and development. For Martin PC, they are focused on providing high-quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. Your investment in sim racing is exactly the same as racing with an actual car. They take the same methodology here at Martin, from the engine PC to the chassis rig, pedals, wheel, and shifter. You deserve components that match your desire to compete. That is our sponsors for the series, and I can't thank them enough. I mean, it's so nice when you have some sponsors jumping on board to help, keep the lights on, pay the bills. Cut us a check or two, obviously. Yeah, we don't mind that as well. But I mean, ultimately, it's a show that the series is doing well. It's a show that the admins are doing the right things, and it's a show that the league is just performing the way it should. So it's nice for them. They get the publicity, they get the shout outs, and they get the sponsorship out there. But it's also kind of a thank you to the league and everybody that puts it on.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good out there. Also, the different types of gear that's out there, and kind of get the word out. and I always see people asking about like, hey, what should I use for like when I'm driving in my sim, you know, and you know, maybe you need a set of gloves or something like that. And so I never heard of 4D Racewear until just recently. So I mean, that's, you know, something, you know, curiosity. You go over there, you take a look, and you see something you like, and you purchase it. And so it does help them out and get the word out, especially when you have drivers out on the track, you know, repping their paint schemes on the cars, and getting some TV time, whether it's in a wreck or, you know, leading out front. But definitely getting ready to go green here shortly. It just ran through turn number 10. Now we're heading down towards 11 and 12, down to the Hans Ernest chicane, and then there go that's 11 and 12. 13 will be it's basically a double right-hander before they get to the start-finish line, and it's kind of downhill, uphill type of combo here. So I hope these drivers are prepared. I hope they get these tires warmed up. I don't think the pace lap is going to do it for them fully, but yeah, 2 more corners to go, and these drivers will be off and running, and hopefully they get a good start here. They're heading down to turn 1.
And right there, heading into the chicane right there is probably one of the pass opportunities you may see heading down into this corner right here. If you want to make a pass, you got to be bold. You got to get to the inside, because from here on out, it is banked. So the outside is viable. You can still hold off that car that's charged on the inside and get a good run out of the corner and onto the front stretch, which is where we're heading right now. And getting ready to take that green flag again. It's just pretty cool seeing this banking coming out of this final corner. It's almost like a a reverse oval here, or maybe like running the Monza oval, which I know some of us have had a chance to in both road cars and oval cars. But we are ready to go. The green flag is racing. The green flag is waving, and we are racing here at Circuit Zandvoort down into a not so tricky turn number 1, but one where, again, it's the beginning of the race, so everybody's trying to get every little inch as possible. Side by side, still at the front. Jancic trying to hold off Hamilton. I feel like this is a repeat of last week, and once again, Jancic from second place is going to take the lead.
Yeah, and he was able to get a nice little jump there, and Chris probably noticing that, obviously, Jancic's quick, so Bolton will get the opportunity, just tuck him behind him, let things kind of settle down, get spread out just a little bit before you make one small mistake, and next thing you know, you got to come through the whole pack. Does look like we had a few people, 196 and J-Roll off track back there. He's still back in turn 3. He's heading forward again, but yeah, it seems to be a pretty decent start so far.
Looks like Eric Martin, Herbert Pineda both in the pits. Take a look back here in a second, but battle for the lead here, and Hamilton going to take the lead back, and look like for a second there, Rich Petrucco was taking a look at second place, but now he's going to fend off Steve Brown for third as they head into the chicane. Petrucco going to hold him off for the time being. Nicholas Cote right there in 5th place. A little bit wide there for Devin Young, but somehow he collects it. Side by side, though, as right in front of them, Steve Brown on the inside of Nicholas Cote. Battle for 4th and 5th right now, heading back to the line. Hamilton going to lead the way.
Yeah, and that was we got the driver chat on here tonight in my other ear, and that was just Craig saying, I forgot where that turn was, so just gonna fall in behind Chris Hamilton, and he'll be falling around for a lap or 2 until he gets comfortable, and then we'll probably see another charge. But great battle back here between the 17 and 2. Oh, what a spin there by the McLaren. A pile up.
Big pile up in the hairpin, and you see some cars diving around there. A couple of the teammates getting caught up there. That is a lot of damage to Bryce Reiner. Try and take a look back here and see what exactly happened. Looked like just some close racing. I'll see it here coming down. Actually, I think this was back a little bit further. That right there, you see.
Right there.
Just kind of in between the lines there. You want to take either the inside line or the outside line. But unfortunately, right there, not a good choice on the line, and quite a few people, Devin Young, Bryce Reiner, Anthony Jenkins, Eli Singh, your points leader, Christian Ortiz-Torres caught up in that one a little bit. that one is going to shake up the field and going to shake up the point standings for sure a little bit as well. But back up front, Chris Hamilton leads the way. He's broken free here a little bit, 1.3 seconds. So maybe Craig is still trying to remember these corners out here, but he's going to have to remember pretty quick. He's got Petrucco on his bumper right now. Battle for second and third, and then take a look back a little bit further. Fourth, fifth, and sixth. Cote, Brown, and Gosha in those positions as these top five have kind of broken away here a little bit, especially with that little mix-up in the hairpin.
Yeah, now's the time to take the opportunity to just kind of get some clean runs and hopefully you remember the turns. You see some of the drivers going a little bit wide, you know, a lot of times you're trying to go a little wide, carry that speed, and you know, you're trying to get the best flow through this track, and you have to kind of know the track, so you know, you tend to want to hit the apex anytime you can, but sometimes you need to stay off that apex because you're setting up the next corner to carry more speed. So there are these drivers going down through here right now. Let's see where we at. Down here in turn number 10. 9, 10, yeah, 9. This is 9 now, and they're heading down to 10, so just doing a pretty good job here so far. Chris is out front over Craig, with Petrucco there, and P number 3. And you know, it's not over. The slightest mistake can send you off the track into the wall, and can be a long evening here for some of these drivers. Like I said, it's not a very popular track, but definitely one that can be a lot of fun.
And you see, it's not exactly the widest track either. When you take a look at these straightaways here, and can you go too wide? Yeah. Can you go 3 wide? Possibly, yeah. But it doesn't feel like that when you're in the car, when you're tucked in there. We'll hop on board here with Ashika Lee, and let's give you an idea as he's riding right behind Jim Herrick now, heading into turn number 1. And again, this is one of the passing opportunities that you can have out here. Good move there by Ali, moving himself into 9th place, and you get a feel for, you know, how just back and forth and flowy this track is. And you see all the way to the outside here. Keep the momentum up through the hairpin. Be a little bit too much care, getting off into the grass, and then it's just back and forth, just almost like you're riding on a boat right now. Jimmy, I'm sure you can attest to that a little bit, just kind of swaying back and forth through this track. Certainly you get a little bit too spicy through there. It's gonna be more like the deadliest catch than anything else, but this is a track that you don't really get a break. You don't really get a breather other than, you know, maybe down the front stretch. That's about the only time that you can, you know, kind of breathe. It's really the only, you know, true straightaway on this track that you can maybe take a hand off the steering wheel for a second, shake it out, and just take a deep breath or try and grab a drink. But other than that, I mean, this track just keeps coming at you.
Yeah, and it's like I said, there's altitude changes, so it's up and down, left and right, curbs, you know, tight turns, opening, sweepers. I mean, it's just kind of a little bit of everything, Carl, and it really will, you know, bring the driver out. And if you can master this track, you could probably master any track. It's really not that bad. Like I said, it's really flowy, and like here, this is coming down to the front stretch, but high banking, high speed, line it out that kind of going uphill into turn number 1. So definitely a lot of fun, and it's just knowing the track for the most part and really utilizing the strengths of whatever car that you selected for the evening getting around here.
Yeah, and sometimes the car that you select will kind of determine maybe a different, you know, entry, exit, you know, through the corner, whatever it may be. You may feel more comfortable, you know, like right there through the hairpin. Maybe your car is actually better on the bottom of the track instead of going up there and taking that high bank here. Maybe just straight up feel more comfortable. It's you know, the racing line is different for everyone. You know, not all these none of these drivers out here are professionals. I know we have a pro class and an AM class, but you know, ultimately none of them are professionals. And you know, even the professionals, I wouldn't be surprised if you watch a race with them here. You're going to see some different lines through these corners, just because of, you know, saving tires, or, you know, just feeling more comfortable on different lines. So just because you see somebody in front of you doing something doesn't mean it's the best thing to do. Doesn't mean it's the fastest line around. You got to experiment. You got to get out there and test it out. You got to practice. Now, you know, for guys up at the front, you know, like your Hamiltons, your Jansiks, Petruccos, they are kind of maybe a little bit higher echelon, where they may be just a little bit off pace where they want to follow that guy in front of them and try and figure out, okay, I'm 2/10 down on a lap. Where am I actually losing this? And that's where you can see, Chris Hamilton was up there by 1.3 seconds, and now that lead is down to 1.1. So Jancic maybe finally remembering these corners a little bit and see what he can do. But you see Hamilton all the way out there to the green paint out there to try and get as much rotation and power out as possible, but lost some time, lost about 0.3 of a second just in that corner.
Yeah, and it's just might have just got him in the corner just a little bit too hard, and overdrove it just a little bit. I just was clicking around the options, and it does look like I don't know if it's just because I'm observing, but I was able to put up the iRacing has a
It's yours.
I'm trying to think of it. It has a driving line to help drivers and new beginner drivers along tracks and whatnot, and I was able to bring it up, and some of the areas are on it pretty well, but a lot of them are not. So it's definitely it can help somebody that's brand new, or maybe you've never been Zandvoort and you throw up a test session and you throw on a line for maybe a lap or two just to kind of get an idea, where you're supposed to be, and then you take the rest of your practice time and really nail things down. But it's something, once you start driving, you don't want to use it because it can develop bad habits. But on a brand new track, if you've never been there, throw up the line, go around, so you're not spending half your time around the lap in the dirt or in a wall. I mean, you have to start all over again. So, I'll help you out there just a little bit, just to give you an idea where things to begin, and then you can change it up and take that line back off and drive it out like a normal driver would. But it's there. The ability's there for the learner's track.
Well, I think that's why it's aptly named that it's named a driving line, because that's what it is. It'll teach you how to drive around the track. It's not the racing line. More often than not, you'll find faster ways around the track. But if it's like you said, if you're brand new to the track, you need to figure out a way how to drive around it and how to figure out where the corners go. I mean, here there's not too many blind corners. There's some that kind of come up over the crest, like right through this section here. That if you're brand new to it, you don't know that it's a long sweeping right-hand corner going through there, and almost kind of 2 or 3 apexes going through that corner. So you turn that driving line to understand which way the track goes. But once you feel comfortable, once you understand that track, the quicker you can turn that line off, the better it's going to be, because you have to get out there and like I said, you have to experiment and try and figure out what works good for you. What do you think you have the best control over the car? What do you think the fast lines are? But right now, it's been a good start. A little rough, little pile up there in the hairpin early on. But other than that, these drivers are getting the hang of it now. 11 minutes into this race, Hamilton, Jancic, Petrucco, Coates, Brown are your top 5, and your top 5 in the AM class. You got to go back all the way to 11th place, as the pros are taking care of the top 10 right now. Ortiz, Torres, Herrick, Santana, Lausen, and De Lima are your top 5 for the AM class.
Yeah, you can tell, obviously, the drivers are in the pro division. You can kind of see why they're in that division right now, as their top spots. I mean, there might be a few that maybe got caught up in an incident and are a little bit farther back, but definitely a lot of the majority of them are in the class that they're in here for CSRL. And not that they're necessarily professionals, just that they've had good seasons, or they're usually battling for the leads or top 5s or whatever it may be, however CSRL deems them to be in what division they are for that season. But you see like Eli, he's been up front, but all the way back in 23rd after being involved in that incident there in that corner that we've seen, which was a big wreck. So obviously he's gonna hurt his points lead that he has, but he had a nice little lead going into this thing. But this might be one of those races that, if he can't come back from, will end up being one of his drop races. But had some good speed. He was up in that, I think near the top 10 or 12 or something like that at the moment. Well above his competitors, besides Jim Herrick, which is still out there, and Pete number 12.
It's one thing that's kind of interesting, and we talked about it before, about the amount of fuel that these drivers carry. They don't carry a full tank to start with, but they're allowed to fill it up all the way to the top once they come in. And you know, you can run these GT cars usually, you know, about 50 minutes to an hour depending on the track. So, you know, realistically, if they wanted to come in on lap 1, or, you know, they wanted to come in at the drop of the green flag and duck right into the pits and fill up, they could if they wanted to, and they'd be able to make it all the way to the end. So, you know, a wreck on the first lap, it sucks, but if you can lick your wounds enough to get back to the pits, get that fast repair, you can fill that thing up with fuel, you're good to go all the way to the end. And you can try and start laying down some good lap times, and you never know when the pit cycle, you know, how it cycles out, and where you find yourself. You could be running in 30th for most of the time, then all of a sudden through the pit cycle, you find yourself up in 15th. So just because you have that first lap or second lap incident doesn't mean you're out of it. You got to keep chugging away and see what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, an option for some of these drivers. Obviously, pit strategies, everything. You know, why run in the middle of the field when you can run by yourself? More likely you'd be faster. So, you know, some drivers might choose to just do that lap or two, and now you take tires, just come in, top off for fuel, the amount of fuel that they need, and get back out there, and then just run clean laps without anybody around. You know, not have to worry about running in the back of somebody, don't have to worry about somebody running in the back of you. Just kind of get out there and give this thing a go. But right now, it's good. Everything's looking it's good so far. With Christopher Hamilton out front, or Craig Jancic, Rich is back there in P number 3. Then Cody Brown, and Leo is back there in P number 6. Tyler Terrell is in 7th. Frank Rosano in 8th. Sheik Ali is back there in 9th. And Jim Dutton. Is it Dunton?
Yep.
I want to say Dutton because I had a friend his last name was Dutton. So Dunton back there for your top 10. So good showing so far here at Zandvoort.
And we are a third of the way through the race, taking a look at the battle right now for 8th and 9th between Pisano and Ali as they head through the middle section of this track. But yeah, I mean, you see it's, you know, about a minute and a half, a little bit over a minute and a half for these lap times, but with 33 cars out there, there's really not much breathing room. And you take a look at it right now. So, you know, if you were buried a little bit further back in the pack, you know, maybe around the 21st or so, like William Burrell here, if he pits right now, he could come out kind of in that gap right there between the leaders and the back of the pack. So, you know, if he were, you know, say, you know, tucked in behind somebody that he's just having trouble getting around, or, you know, you got lap cars or whatever the case is, that's where that short pit can come in handy, and that's where you can get out there and get some clean air, get some clean laps in, and you know, that guy that you were behind, that driver that you were behind, struggling to get around, you put in 1 or 2 good laps, you're going to be ahead of him when the pit cycle goes through, and that's sometimes the easiest way to pass somebody is via the pit cycle.
Yeah, the pit cycle can be very strategic. You know, it just doesn't need to be like, oh, man, out of gas, or I got an accident, I need to come in. So it's definitely can be a very strategic move for somebody. You know, obviously when the car's lighter on fuel, typically it does run a little quicker. But you know, like you said, if you have a hard time getting around somebody, you know, maybe it's just time to duck in and top off fuel and move back in the pack a little bit. But hopefully you'll make those laps up after you come back out and get in front of somebody. You know, and there's a lot of chances out there that the drivers overlays and assists, things that can assist you, kind of give you an idea, like an estimator, like give you another dot on your map and be like, hey, if you pit now, you'll be back here. You know, so that's the, you know, oh, I got a wreck here. 343 hitting the wall hard.
Yeah, Steve Santana just getting a little bit too much gas coming out of the hairpin there, catching the grass a little bit, shoots him into the wall. He's going to get it back going.
Those turbos on that McLaren, really, when they kick in, you're not ready for it. Sends that back around, that rear end around quickly. One of my favorite cars to drive, and find troubles getting the power down smoothly a lot of times.
But once again, it is Hamilton, Jancic, Petrucco, Coate, and Brown for your top 5 in the Pro Class. In the AM Class, Your leader is Torres as, okay, that'd be why. We'll take a look down here as he is just outside the top 10 running in 11th, but he's got Jim Dutton in his view. We'll see if Torres can run him down and get himself up into that top 10, but he's leading the AM class right now. And you got Herrick, Lausen, Belima, and Torville rounding out the top 5 in the AM class, but kind of been waiting and seeing some signs here of Torres starting to pick up some of this pace again that we've seen a couple seasons ago. I believe it was 2 seasons ago, he was the AM class champion and then got the promotion up to the pro class. Just maybe not quite ready yet for the pro class and drop back down here for the AM and maybe just finally starting to settle in here. This is some of the first few laps, I believe, of the season that we're seeing that 11 in the top spot in the AM class, so hopefully he can hold on to that. He's you know, self-proclaimed never been the fastest one out here, whether it's, you know, AM, pro, whatever. He's never, you know, claimed to be the fastest one out here, but he's one that is just smooth and he's consistent, and more often than not he's out there and just trying to lay laps down, lay decent laps down. That could be the fastest laps in the race, but he's one that just tries to avoid any kind of issues, and more often than not lands him on the podium, and he's had a couple now on the season. See if we can get another one here tonight as we are coming up on 20 minutes complete already. Out front again it is Chris Hamilton, but that lead starting to get a little bit smaller, down to about a half a second now as Jancic starting to reel him in.
Yeah, you can see them just kind of following each other around right now. It's you know, probably the best move. I don't know if Jancic's trying to save fuel or not, but following closely in that Audi behind the Porsche there, but back behind them it's a full, almost, was working on 7 seconds back to Rich.
You can see now, you don't even see them in the picture, but they've got a bit of a battle going on here as you got Petrucco, Cote, and Brown throw a blanket over for 3rd, 4th, and 5th right now as Brown looks to the inside of Cote. Not going to happen just yet. Certainly, it's another opportunity to pass right there in that left-hand corner, because the line is all the way to the outside of the corner and kind of cut it in to try and get a good run down to the chicane. But you open up that inside quite a bit, and that's why you see the Brown kind of stick his nose in there. But it's still going to be 27, 17, and 2 for 3rd, 4th, and 5th as we'll complete another lap. But comes Cote trying to peek to the outside, and maybe that's why. I thought he was coming in the pits there. I guess not. He just protected that inside line, so we'll see if Cote decides to put it on the outside here. Turn 1, gonna hang it out there, not gonna get it done. He's gonna open the door here a little bit for Brown.
Yeah, and Cote tried on that outside. He had a good run, obviously, you know, doing the sportsman type thing, and not getting things involved here and causing a wreck, so keeping things clean up front here as he is, and currently sitting in P04. So you don't want to take that away from yourself, but you want to keep Rich under that pressure.
Take a look back at the lone Corvette in the field here. Glenn Lazan looking for a move there on Jim Herrick. Herrick was up there, I believe he was even leading the AM class briefly up there towards the top 10, but has been slipping back here a little bit in that Lambo. But he's keeping the wheels on it, he's keeping the fenders on it, so that's a good thing, and we'll see how it works out at the end here. But battling side by side through the S's here, that is it's a scary situation. It's bad enough trying to drive through that thing single file, but if you got somebody else out there trying to figure out how you need to enter these corners, and it comes back to what I said earlier, practice, man. I mean, you can get out here and you can put 500 laps in there by yourself, but you got to get out here and get some laps in the race, because when you're going through those S's, okay, I know how the line is here. I know where I got to turn in. I got to know what I got to do, when I got to do, how much brake I need for each of these corners. Okay, well, now put another car alongside you. Now you got to take some completely different lines that you're not used to, and that's what can make or literally break your car. So as you see, Herrick getting a little bit spicy there through the chicane. Gonna hold on to the spot for now, but that was very close. Looks like we might have had an issue back here with Eric Martin up just coming out of the pits here for Martin. So we'll come back here to the battle, and this is the battle again for 13th and 14th, but should be coming up very soon to the pit stop. So we had about maybe a third of the field so far coming into the pits, but most of those came in on that lap 1 or 2 after the incident. So we still have majority of the field that needs to come in to make their one and only pit stop here tonight, and just about a halfway point. So you should see him in probably this lap or the next.
Yeah, Steve Santana was the last one in a lap.
And he was the one that put it into the wall, so that could be why he came in at that point as well. Take a look, and not too far behind him is your leaders right now. Hamilton stretching that lead back out to 1.2 seconds, and Mr. Jim Dutton may have had a little bit too big of a bite here of the donut. Gonna slide that pink Simpsons Porsche around, and yeah, I said Christian Ortiz Torres was smooth. That was a smooth move going through the gravel right there. We'll take a look at that one more time from the view of Ortiz Torres, and show you how quick you need to make a decision. Coming around the corner here, you see the smoke, but you're not expecting the car to come shooting across like that. And heck of a save from the 11 here to make it through there. That was certainly a brown pants moment for sure.
Yeah, my luck, I've been trying to eat the donut. I try to make those quick last second decisions sometimes, and just end up you're catching somebody that still rolling, or the car snapped and decides to go a different direction. So a little bit of luck on your side for some of these incidents to avoid them, but good job there getting by that one. Is the good old Homer Simpson car taking a little spin, backing up just a little bit, but definitely still great running right now. But it looks like Herbert Pineda had an incident as well.
We're going to see what happened here to Pineda and the McLaren. And looks like he just maybe pulled off to the side here.
It was like right from before he pulled off to the right, the car just made a huge twitch. Watch it.
Oh yeah. I'm wondering if that might have been a wheel shut off, a hardware issue there for him. That thing definitely shook back and forth. So all in all, that might have been a very good save, all things considered, for Pineda. But it's going to require him to. I'm wondering if he is actually still sitting there towed back to the pits.
I think he got moving again.
Yeah, he's back moving right there. Looks like everything is good, so maybe just the wheel shut off for a second, but yeah, I mean,
some of this equipment these days is just so strong, Carl. I mean, I know you talked about getting new equipment eventually, but I didn't get anything huge, anything very strong, but 10 Newton meters, you don't think so much, but man, it can really whip you around.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's obviously this is a simulator. It's not real life, but it's as close to real life as you're going to get. But it all depends on what equipment you're actually running. I mean, you just ask our leader right now, and one of his favorite sayings is my immersion, and he wants to try and have as close to racing immersion as possible. But the problem is, that usually involves what's known as the direct drive wheel, and it's what's in race cars. So every little bump, every little feel, you feel it in the wheel, and it's some wheels can get very, very strong, and it can be an absolute workout just in the racing aspect. But again, some of these drivers out here, whether you're just out there having fun or anything like that, after the race, if you're just driving around there trying to get back to the pits and you're not paying attention, somebody can come and wipe you out. Just messing around, having fun, and no harm, no foul, not trying to actually do any damage to you. But with these direct drive wheels, they don't know that. they feel a shock to the system, and that's what they give you. They give you a shock to the system, and I've heard of drivers breaking thumbs, breaking wrists, whatever it is, because if you're holding on to that wheel, it's just like in real life. If you're holding on the wheel and all of a sudden you drive into the barrier, and unexpectedly it's going to snap in inside the car there, and it could snap your finger, snap your wrist, anything like that. So it's not real, but it's real enough that it can do some damage.
It's definitely can do some damage. I mean, anything that has an emergency stop button, you want to take a little bit seriously. But some pit stops happening right now. I see Craig Jancic in, Christian Torres, Tato Arena, obviously all getting done, coming back out. But yeah, so pit stops are kind of coming down to it here. So how much longer will Chris Hamilton stay out and take advantage of that clean air? But it looks maybe just a little bit too soon as the car number 20 is heading down to the pits.
Leader into pit road and maybe just trying to cover off the short pit there from Jancic, and we'll see where the 20 comes out. Nicholas Coates going to stay out there. He's going to take over the lead. Steve Brown also staying out this lap. They are going to be first and second, stretching out here just a little bit further. We'll take a look at Craig Jancic and see where he is. Still got quite a ways to go here and stuck in a little bit of traffic here as well. So this right here could hamper his chances of not only passing Hamilton on the pit cycle, which looks like Hamilton is already out there and rolling. So that is why Jancic had a pit road penalty. Looking at his pit time right now, 54 seconds is not exactly the pit time you want to have. That's an extra 40 seconds, Jimmy.
It's, and when, the close races that he's had so far with some of these other drivers up in the front, not what he's probably wanting here today. But yeah, Nicholas Cody out there up front right now, and the number 17 getting things done. I'm sure we'll see him coming here shortly with Steve Brown. Then Chris Hamilton, then back there with Devon Young, still needs to pit. Been out there for about 18 laps. And then you have Leo back there in the 666, and then Rich will be the next one behind him, and then Ali will be back there in P number 7 as of right now. That's how they just come out and they're on their out laps. So getting in tires warmed up, getting in vehicles back up to speed. See a black flag for Rich Petrucco. So not quite sure what that was about. Maybe speeding off pits.
Maybe speeding off pits or an unsafe exit, because you got to keep it inside those white lines coming out of pit road. So, I mean, as of right now, Craig Jancic sitting outside the top 10, your points leader in the pro class, in 11th place right now. But the man that's in 10th, Eli Singh, your points leader in the AM, and we said it earlier, you get involved in an early incident, it's fine. It happens. It sucks, but it happens. You get in there, get that fast repair, take your one and only pit stop for the race. He should be good to go all the way to the end right now. He pit all the way back on lap number 2, but he is currently sitting in 11th place. As Craig Jancic right in front of him, just making that pass. He moved back into the top 10, but Eli Singh is your top running AM class driver right now. Just more proof that he is he's going to be a tough man to beat out here this season, as he is when mistakes do happen to him, he's counteracting him pretty quickly here and doing a good job, as looks like his teammate letting him by there on the front stretch, and currently running in 10th place now overall. So great job by the 13 to weather the storm here and looking to get another good points finish.
Yeah, and right now he's in that the number 1 spot right there in front of Brandon Powell. So as long as he's stays in front of Brandon, he's winning his AM division right now. Obviously, I always want to try to get by as many people as possible, but the big picture here for the race for Eli is to make sure he's in front of all the AM drivers doing that right now, and in a top 10 spot. So that's a good run here for Eli as he got involved here early. And yeah, you're right. With these in this league, with the ability to take enough fuel to make it the rest of the way, it's not the end of the world if you get into an early incident, and then probably constructed it that way so people would still have a chance. Because I know a lot of leagues, like if you have 40% fuel and that's all you can have in the car, you get into an early enough incident, you don't hit it, like it was too early, so you're gonna have to make a pit stop again anyways. So I mean, it's like a double whammy.
Well, speaking of another pit stop, Nicholas Coe having a black flag as well. Was running in 2nd place, and might have been the same thing that Rich Petrucco had. Gets a drive-through, and now Coates going to shuffle back to 4th place. Sorry for jumping in there. Just seen that coming right through there. Chris Hamilton is loving life right now, and currently sitting out now to about a 12-second lead over Steve Brown, who is now running in second place. He was up there in the mix, 3-car battle for quite some time with him, Cote, and Petrucco. Well, Cote and Petrucco just said, all right, we're just going to let you have it. We're both going to get a penalty. We'll let you just go ahead and run in second place by yourself and not have to worry about it. Leo Gausha in that third place, just clean up the mess as well. And in a Mercedes, Jimmy, I feel like it's been so long since we've seen that the Mercedes just be the go-to car, and when you see a ton of drivers out there and running in that Mercedes, but at least we got one out there, and it's looking like a podium right now for Gausha.
Hey, yeah, I mean, I have plenty of time behind the steering wheel of a Mercedes. You see him running a little bit wide here. Obviously, not the flavor of the month as that car is. It's had its updates and stuff, so it's pertinent and can run with the best of them, and that's why it's still on the track. Just definitely not everybody's favorite at the moment, as some of the other cars are deemed to be a little bit quicker, faster, just felt better. So a lot of people are kind of moving away from the Mercedes at the moment, but still see a bunch of drivers that do drive them, and it's good to see them make their way up towards the front in the right hands. And obviously Leo being one of those drivers. So Chris Hamilton's in that Porsche, Steve Brown's in a McLaren, so got a good mixture of everything out there. You obviously got the Mercedes, the Acura's out there, the Vette. There was a Ford out here tonight as well, so mixing it up all over the place. Obviously, Lambo. So we're missing the Audi and the BMW.
And the Ferrari, looks like the Ferrari's out here this week as well. But yeah, it seems like the flavors of the month, the quarter, everything have been kind of 3 cars. It's been the Porsche, it's been the McLaren, and it's been the Acura have been the go-to cars as of late. And speaking of late, a late move there. Petrucco had to back out of it, battling right now with Tyler Corville for 6th and 7th on the screen. And this is your the best battle on the track right now. You can look back a little bit further, 25th and 26th, Stephen Price and Ian Wilson had a little battle of their own here, as we're down under 10 minutes left in this race. And Jimmy, we haven't had a chance to do it because there's been so much action, but with everybody kind of spread out here, other than a couple battles right here, I think it's about time we crank them up here a little bit and give everyone in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it.
Love to hear it.
Sights and sounds of the Casual Sim Racers League here at the Circuit Zandvoort, and it's been a pretty good one here, mainly for your leader, the 20 of Chris Hamilton. He hasn't had any kind of issues, knock on wood, as of yet. Less than 5 minutes to go in this race. Steve Brown has benefited from some of the drivers he was battling with for quite some time before the pit stops. Just fallen by the wayside and given him second place all on his own by about 3 1/4 seconds. Leo Gausha in the 666 has been trying to reel him in the Mercedes, and has just kind of been steady as she goes, and kind of hanging right there, right about 3-second range behind Brown, but doing a good job here running in third place. Nicholas Coates in fourth right now in the second running Porsche. And the second running McLaren is Sheikha Lee in fifth place. Go back to 10th place right now to find Eli Singh in the McLaren, but Ortiz Torres, actually it's not Ortiz Torres right behind him. Ortiz Torres is about 7 seconds behind him, but the 11, we seen the brown pants moment from him earlier on in the race, getting around spinning Jim Dutton. He's kept that Porsche clean other than that, and he's doing a good job right now, running second place in the AM class. Third place, not too far behind him, is Glenn Lazan, just ahead of Jim Herrick. So still going to battle here for the final spots on the M class podium, but time is starting to tick away, so will we get a chance to talk to Jim Dutton again? Is Glenn Lazan in the lone Corvette going to hold them off? We got about 3 minutes left in this race to find out.
Yeah, I think this race went by pretty quick. I'm sure some drivers are happy with their performance and others are probably not. There's a few in the back that obviously got wrapped up early, but some having a great run. I'm obviously on screen right now. Glenn Lawson up 12 spots, not the biggest mover of the race. That would go back to the 007, the 16, up 16 spots in 16th, Cesar Torres.
Good job here for the lone Ford in the field, and say what you want, that Ford just got a nice grunt to it. I mean, whether you like Fords or not, I'm not really a big fan of Fords myself, but when that Ford came out, I mean, it's you know, you had your choice when the Ford and the Corvette came out, and the Corvette handled like crap. It didn't sound that good. Take a look at the Mustang. It didn't really handle the best, but the sound kind of overcame it. And it's like, it just sounds so good. You got to run it a couple times just to get those grunts out. And that's kind of what I miss about the Mercedes a little bit, because the Mercedes is definitely a grunty type of car out there as well.
78s.
Yep. Well, we got another battle here inside the top 10 as Tyler Torville tried to hold off Frank Bassano right behind him. So this is the battle for 8th and 9th. Coming down to our final laps of the race. The white flag still not out just yet. We'll take a look here on the right-hand side. Pretty sure, yeah, no white flag just yet. Looks like Barney was just holding his fist up, or maybe he was holding 2 fingers up, with 2 laps to go in this race. And it is all Chris Hamilton, 13-second lead at the front, so no need to show him right now on the screen. It is good battle right here. As Torbo goes a bit wide there. Bassano now side by side heading into the S's, and we talked about how technical and tricky this is. They are going to hold it flat out here. Is anyone going to back down? Jumping over the curbs there is the 22 of Torville, but Bassano just going to get around nice and smooth. I don't think this battle is quite over just yet, but good run there from Bassano to take over 8th place. Take a look back here at the battle for the last spot on the podium, and Jim Herrick has passed Glenn Lazan. We'll take a look at the pass here. Heading off into turn number 1, Herrick went to the outside. Lazan broke a little bit earlier. Herrick sent it a little bit deep. They went side by side, but a good run out of the corner gave that spot to Herrick. And you see it right now on the screen as they're going to get the white flag this time by, so Herrick trying to get another podium here and keep a good streak going, but already on his last lap, I believe.
Yes.
Pretty sure he got the white flag this time by, but we got to take a look as judging, you know, just obviously it's
so.
based on
Time's ran out.
based on the time here, but it's tough because we got no Barney cam on this track here. So we'll try to take a look here, possibly.
I mean, Chris is heading down out of 10 down to 11 now, so just a few more turns remaining here. He should be on that white flag as the time expired. It would have expired before he came around.
Yeah, there you see that the white flag is waving, so
Yeah,
white flag is out here. So Chris Hamilton coming around to take the win here. Just got to get it through the one last bank corner. The number 20 started on the pole back-to-back weeks here. Didn't work out too well for him last week. Came home a little shy out first, but tonight he got the pass around Craig Jancic when Jancic made the mistake, and then Jancic made a big mistake in the pits and gave Hamilton a nice, easy win. Steve Brown now coming across. He's going to get a very well-deserved second place here tonight, and certainly happy about that. Gausha is, I'm sure, going to be happy about finishing in third place as well. Good run for the 6666. Take a look back at your AM classes there, just coming around here with the final sector to finish this thing out. But again, stick with it. If you have an issue early on, you're not out of it, especially in this series, the way the fuel is set up with the fast repair, everything like that. That's exactly what the 13 here of Eli Singh did. It's why he's the points leader. It's why he's going to leave Circuit Zandvoort as your points leader. Eli Singh, 10th place overall, going to be your top spot here in the AM class. Christian Ortiz-Torres now coming around the final corner as well. He's going to come home in second place. Jim Herrick is indeed going to hold off Glenn Lazan for the third and final spot on the AM class podium. So good run here for the 40 as well. And really for a lot of these drivers, it was certainly a little bit rough in the beginning. We've seen a bit of a pile up there in the hairpin, but you know, a couple cars going off here and there from there, but nothing too major. And it's really, I think, pit road caused a lot more commotion and penalties than the actual track did, and we've seen some big names have some issues. You've seen Jancic have to come back down, and or not come back down. He had to serve his penalty in the pits. We've seen Rick Petrucco had to come back through and serve a drive-through penalty. Nicholas Coate did the same thing. Coate was able to weather that a little bit and still finish in fourth place. But yeah, you got to be careful about pit road. You can't speed. You can't do anything wrong because they will find you. They will. It is all electronic. You don't have to worry about you know, any kind of judgment or anything like that. You don't have to worry about the you know, any refs blowing any calls. It is just all electronic here, and we'll take a look at the final results here for tonight's race. And it is going to be again Chris Hamilton getting the job done. He is your winner here tonight by 14 seconds over Steve Brown, Leo Gausha, Nicholas Coate, Chica Lee, Rich Petrucco, Craig Jancic, Craig Pisano, Tyler Torville, Eli Singh for your top 10. Christian Torres, Jim Herrick, Glenn Lazan, Renan De Lima, Cesar Colon, Devin Young, Todd Torville, Steve Santana, Brandon Potts, and William Burrell for your top 20. Bryce Reiner, Jay Little, Herbert Pineda, Paul Bailey, Stephen Price, Ian Wilson, Brandon Powell, Daniel Rambo, Randy Ayers, and Anthony Jenkins for your top 30, and then rounding out the rest of the field, Jim Dutton, Eric Martin, and Jason Potts. We'll go ahead and get these drivers ready for some well-deserved interviews here tonight. But Jimmy, Circuit Zandvoort here again. It's not a track that we get to see too often here on the service, on the broadcast. But I think it was kind of fun watching these drivers, especially. I mean, you watch these cars going through these bank corners, you watch them going through these S's, and it's just it's a fun sight from up here in the booth. Probably not so much in the car itself. A little bit more hectic in the car.
I mean, I got the chance to drive it a little bit as a ghost, but tonight. But definitely, it is a lot of fun out there on track, I think. Like I said, it's a flowy track. It is difficult to pass. You got to be, you know, confident with your car and your moves and your turns, and you know, if you don't have the time on the track, you can end up with problems, and kind of like what we've seen in some of the drivers kind of falling back early, and then obviously you talked about the pits being a problem, you know, and that's just, I think, just experience with, like, where you need to brake and what's the actual speed in the pits and stuff like that. Most drivers, I mean, obviously they come in, they'll be able to hit the brakes, smash your pit limiter, and make sure you get below it before you hit the cones. And might not have been able to got much practice of that here tonight because they're too worried about trying to get around the track here at a decent clip. But either way, Chris Hamilton, Steve Brown, and Leo for your pro division, we'll talk to them here shortly, and then Eli, Torres, and Herrick for the AM. So looking forward to talking to those drivers and getting ready for next week.
It looks like just waiting for one more. Looks like we're just waiting for Eli from the AM class. So we'll go ahead and start with our pro class and start with our third place finisher here, the 666 of Leo Gausha. And Leo, we got you up in a booth here. Congrats on the third place here tonight. The lone Mercedes out there, and we said it multiple times on the broadcast. It's good to see the Mercedes back out there. It was once a dominating car out there, but you don't see it too much, and it's good to hear the grunt of that Mercedes for sure. So, I mean, it grunted its way to a third place finish for you tonight.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was a phenomenal race. Definitely, I just kind of be a little different. I know everybody kind of went with the NSX and the Porsche and the McLaren because I know they have so much pace here. But I was like, let's be a little different. Let's bring the Mercedes back out, have a little fun. And the strategy actually played out and finished up here in the podium.
Yeah, the strategy definitely paid out, and the fact that you didn't get a penalty. It seemed like a lot of the leaders up there, especially Jancic, Petrucco, Code, all them having penalties from the pit road. I mean, what was difficult about the pit road? Did you find any kind of issues about it? Was it the exit? I know the exit can get a little bit tricky and a little bit tight coming out of there.
Yeah, definitely the exit. If you cross over that little white line, it's definitely a drive-through penalty, and the entry is it's blind coming in around the hook. But I just knew I had to kind of play it real safe. I knew the pit strategy was going to be everything and just maximize that and get back out in front.
Well, I mean, having a pretty decent season so far, sitting just outside the top 5 coming in here, so third place is definitely going to help you. Are there any tracks on the upcoming schedule that you're looking forward to try and maybe get a little bit higher up there on the podium or at least just grab another podium?
Yeah, next week for sure, actually. Road Atlanta is my home circuit, actually. So have a lot of familiar ground there, and I definitely hope to be on the podium for that race, if not a win.
All right, sounds good. We'll be looking for the 666 out there for sure. So take some time. Congratulations here on the podium. We'll let you go celebrate, but before you do, who do you want to give a shout-out to or thanks to?
Really just shout out to everyone that's hosting this program. I got the invite from Ant. He's a really nice guy. We did some races before and together. And yeah, he invited me onto this league, and just thank you guys for putting this together every week and giving me something fun to race.
Well, it's definitely fun to watch you guys out there. You put on a heck of a performance, and I know you didn't have much to race for. You were kind of alone there by yourself, but sometimes being alone and just grabbing a podium is fine. So I'm sure you didn't mind it at all. We'll see you next week at Road Atlanta, see if you can grab another one. Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
That is your third place finisher here overall and in the pro class, the 666 of Leo Gausha. Second place, Jimmy, is going to be Steve Brown in the number 2.
Hey, Steve, it's Jimmy and Carlton Booth. You copy?
I do.
Yeah, an interesting race here tonight, landing you at that second place finish here. So just give us a little rundown of how tricky this track was here tonight for you.
I actually don't think it's tricky at all. We were just talking about that with some of the guys. It's probably one of my favorite tracks on iRacing, and for whatever reason, when I come here, I always seem to have pace.
Well, one of the few people I've met that says that on a track that can be very unique to some drivers. But you landed a second place finish here tonight. So, I mean, obviously you were able to overcome any obstacles and be in that position here for a great finish and work your way towards that championship here towards the end of the season. So just want to say congratulations and give you a little time for any shouts on that car you might have.
Yeah, thanks. I think most of it came down to qualifying. Probably ran the lap of my life and ended up on the first 2 rows there, which allowed me to stay out of the trouble that seemed to happen out back and just settle in for pace. And then I think Craig said he might have sped in the pits. And then the same thing with Nicholas. So putting myself in a position to capitalize on others' mistakes and take home a podium.
Podiums are always a good thing to have week in and week out. Obviously, inching your way closer and closer to that the end of the season championship. But again, congratulations on your finish. And we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Hey, thanks.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the number 2 of Steve Brown. Winner of the race and top spot here for the pro class is going to be Chris Hamilton. Chris, last week you had the pole. You got passed right away by Craig Jancic, and you had to follow the entire race. Could not find a way around him. Did everything you could, but Suzuka was just not going to give you that win. Tonight, you didn't waste any time. Craig Jancic had a little bit of a mistake, and you got in there. You made your move. You took over the lead, and obviously some pit road penalties by all your competitors directly behind you certainly helped make the second half a lot easier for you. But either way, you had some pace once again in that 20, and you were not giving it up here tonight.
I gotta figure out Craig is sending it harder than I am on lap 1. I'm frankly kind of scared of lap 1, if I'm honest. I don't want to screw something up. So 2 for 2, he's gotten me, but this time he made a mistake. He was coming over the radio. He kind of laughed about it, like, I don't know where the track goes. So I just kind of like, thank you very much. I will happily take this. And then when I heard that he had a pit road penalty on the pit stops, I was like, well, I just kind of settle in, just log laps. I took it admittedly a little easier on the pit entry. I probably should have attacked it a little harder than I did, but it was better safe than sorry, and we got the win.
Yeah, and it was, this is a track that it doesn't get touched too often. To me, it's a fun track. It's definitely a fun track to watch, and I've had some time driving on this track as well, and it's certainly one that it's flowy. There's a few passing opportunities out there, but did you feel like, given last week's situation where you tried everything you could to get around him, did you feel like you needed to make that move and get that lead back quickly?
He kind of presented the door to me, so then I took it. I was actually, like 2 corners before, I was more than happy of sitting behind him and trying, not necessarily a repeat, but I was going to see where I was going to go. He usually pits earlier than I do, and I use that chance to have that clean air and make sure I nail the pit entry, because that's usually where I can get him, is the pit road stuff. But once he gave it on a silver platter, and I will happily take it.
You're not going to say no. Yeah, exactly. Well, you get the win here tonight, and it's certainly going to help you out in the points. Craig finishing down there in 7th place is definitely going to help as well. So, what's your outlook here going through the rest of the season? That next week going to Road Atlanta, do you feel like it's another track that you can kind of compete and maybe grab another win?
We'll definitely see. I barely get any practice throughout the week. This is Wednesday is my race day, and that's it. So I don't know how much of practice you see, but I'm like trying everything. I am going off tracks. I am sending it super hard and then kind of backing it off from there. So that way I know where my limits are.
Like I say, you paid for the whole thing. You might as well use it. So you got to find those limits one way or another. And you found exactly what you needed here tonight. You get the win. Who do you want to give a shout out to or things before we let you go?
Huge shout out to Parks de la Cruz for the beautiful, beautiful iRacing pace car livery. It finally got a win this time, so it's actually like the pace car won. Heck yeah. Huge shout out to Ryan McCauley. He's actually been helping me with streaming lately. Let's search up my name. I've been streaming all my races, and it's been kind of fun to go back to. And thank you guys for the broadcast.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, congrats again on the win here tonight. We'll see if you can go back-to-back next week at Road Atlanta. It's certainly not going to be easy with this field out here, but you got a fast number 20 this season. We'll see what you can do.
Sounds good. Here's to you, boys.
That is your winner here tonight, the 20 of Chris Hamilton. Now we'll switch gears and head over to the AM class and start with our 3rd place finisher here tonight. Jimmy, it's going to be the 40 of Jim Herrick.
Hey, Jim. It's Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, not too bad. A little bit rough back there in the middle of the pack, but you get it done with the 3rd place finish in the AM class. So just give you a little bit of time to tell us about your race.
Yeah, man, this was a really tough race. This track's kind of difficult. It's a lot of fun, but this is the first time I'd ever been here, so I had to put in a little extra practice this week to get to know the track, and paid off pretty well for me, I guess. Had a lot of good battles today, just with Glenn and Sorry, names are evading me today, but yeah, I'm just exhausted from this race. I'm sitting here, I'm soaked in sweat and just arms are tired. So, but yeah, just great battles, and in the end, I was able to nip Glenn for third place. So, a little payback from Daytona there.
Little payback and get yourself a little podium finish here tonight, and obviously a great finish overall. So congratulations, and obviously you told us your story, and now we'll give you some time for any shouts you may have in that car.
Yeah, sure. Shout out to Dan Marrero, my teammate. He's having a rough week at work, so he missed tonight. But the Dan 4D Racewear, everybody check out 4dracewear.com and Pit Fit. You can see our products on display at Pit Fit here in Indianapolis. And thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast, and to Jim and Renan and Colin for doing the admin stuff here in the league.
All right. Well, again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Have a great night.
You too, buddy. That is your third place finisher here tonight in the AM class. 12th place overall, the 40 of Jim Herrick. Second place in the AM class, and 11th place overall is going to be the 11 of Christian Ortiz-Torres. Christian, talked about you early on in the race. You were leading in the AM class just outside the top 10. I think you were running 11th at the time. And, mentioned that we've talked to you in previous seasons. Obviously, a couple seasons ago, you're the AM class champion, and you mentioned yourself that you're not always the fastest one out here, but you're smooth, you're consistent, you try and keep it out of trouble. Well, talk to us about the near trouble when you come around the corner through the S's there, and Jim Herrick is just shooting around towards you, and you had to take a little bit of an evasive maneuver to get through and by him.
Yeah, I mean, this track is pretty tough on that first section. Trying to be side by side with somebody, it's tough in that section. But yeah, I think somebody spun in front of us. I saw, as soon as I saw smoke, I was like, brake, and I was hoping nobody from behind didn't see that and just hit me from behind, and it all happened really, really fast that I was like, I didn't have time to dive in through the bottom, so I took the outside, and luckily there was nobody in my way, and I got through.
And nobody in your way, and luckily the wall was far enough to the left that you could drive through the kitty litter there and still get it back on track. And I mean, it certainly it had to be a scary moment. You were doing good at that time. Like I said, just outside the top 10, and starting to kind of come back to life here a little bit in the M class. I know you had the season last season up in the pro class, but we talked that it seems like you're starting to get your footing again, starting to rack up a few podiums here. Do you feel like you're going in the right position? I mean, it seems like it's gonna be tough to beat Eli here this season, as everything just seems to be falling his way. But you're coming to life here a little bit in the M class.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna keep trying. Yeah, definitely Eli is quick. So yeah, our goal is gonna be to stay in the top positions and see if we can make some points by the end of the season.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats on the second place here, 11th place overall, and we'll give you some time to give any shout outs or thanks that you may have on that 11 car.
Yeah, shout outs to my family in Denver, CFG, and my lady, Brooke.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next week at Road Atlanta. Take some time to celebrate this one and get back at it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
That is second place finisher in the AM class, 11th overall, Christian Ortiz-Torres in the 11. Winner of the AM class, and he had to do it a bit rough here tonight with the early incident, but sometimes you just stick with it and you get it done. Jimmy, we got 10th place finisher overall, winner of the AM class, Eli Singh.
Hey, Eli. Hey, back in the booth and back on with another win here in the A class, showing them how to get it done after getting involved in an early incident. There's quite a bit of a pileup back there. Give us a little bit of rundown of what happened.
I watched my POV at least 20 times now. It's honestly so hilarious. It's the 2 times I've been caught up in silly stuff like that are so funny. I think what happened was Devin Young had a little bit of a spin down low on the low side of that of the banking, and there's nowhere for Anthony to go. Anthony brakes, so I think he was actually going to brake in time too, but the Lambo, whoever was behind him, the spin happened somehow 100% in his A pillar. He just didn't see a thing. And he careened into the back of Anthony at full force. And the same thing happened to me. The spin happened entirely in my A pillar. I didn't see a thing. So I careened full force into the back of the Lambo. And yeah, we all had a nice little concertina train moment, and it was great. We all became great friends, very close for sure.
Very close, very fast. Worked your way around to the pits, able to get that fast repair done, and obviously with the benefit of being able to take as much fuel needed, you were able to stay out and work your way back up through the field and get yourself a win here tonight in the AM. So very interesting incident there when everything kind of happened, but it paid out in the end and able to walk away a winner. So I just want to say congratulations and give you some time for any shout outs you might have on that vehicle.
Appreciate it. Well, shout out to obviously Sid Builder and the Muradness crew. Thanks also to the Pun crew who always come out and show up and show out for some really good support. And our new friend, Mr. Drambo, who's racing tonight for his first race, also in the Sid Builder Porsche. So that was really cool to see him out there repping it. And also to Anthony, who had a bit of a rough race, but I know he'll come back stronger for next one. And thanks also to all the fellow competitors and to you guys in the Comtrade booth. You guys are awesome.
All right, well, again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thanks so much.
That is your winner, 10th place overall. The 13 of Eli Singh, and just again weathering the early storm and getting it done here once again, and it's why he is the points leader in the M class. Going to be tough to beat, but there's still plenty of racing left in the season. Again, this was only race number 4. Next week, race number 5 is going to take us to Road Atlanta. Then we got another one that definitely does not get touched very often at all. That is going to be Donington Park in round number 6. Round number 7 going to take us to Mount Panorama, Hockenheim in round 18, and then to finish out, well, that is actually going to finish out the regular season in round number 8, and then round number 9 is going to be the team-only race. That's going to be the 2-hour season finale at Spa. Hope you enjoyed the race out here tonight. If you have, make sure you hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. We got a new season of the Virtual Velocity Racing Series coming back tomorrow night. So we're going to have a doubleheader or kind of at the same time tomorrow night on CRN. You're going to have the Core GT Series and the Virtual Velocity Series running. So if you want oval, you got one. You want GT, you got that right there as well. We got a little bit of everything here at CRN. Want to thank our sponsors here once again, Simcraft, 40 Racewear, and Martin PC for all their support here of the CSRL GT Series. But for myself and Jimmy here in the CRN booth at Circuit Zandvoort, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.